Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. It's game number 3 for India in the T20 World Cup Down Under. That's right, after having won the first 2 games, today India plays South Africa in Perth. For India, they are sitting in a comfortable position. They've already won 2 games so far. But for South Africa, the pressure is very much on. One game that they played was washed out. The second game they won, but they know they're going to be playing Pakistan next. They're not going to take this lightly. And on top of that, this venue is what South Africa would have wanted to play against India. Hello and a very warm welcome yet again to all of you. I'm joined by Ashok Malhotra, former cricketer, former selector, also joining me, cricket analyst, a writer, a player. Deepak Mahan joins us here on the show. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Let me begin with Ashok sir straight away. South Africa versus India. Everybody has been talking about South African pacers versus India's top order, sir. Will it come down to just that?
No, I wouldn't say that. Because I understand that the Perth bouncy track suits of the Rabada, the Nortjes and the Parnells of this world. But not to forget, you can't underestimate Indian bowlers, because against Pakistan, it was quicks of Pakistan which made Zimbabwe struggle. But then the Zimbabwean bowlers who could move the ball around proved to be very, very lethal. So I think it is definitely it is even Steven. But first and foremost, I must say they're carrying across South Africa. I know it is only one-way traffic because Team India is going to win, and if I would have been coach and captain of Team India, I would not have got Bavuma out. I would have made him bat for 10 overs, and probably game, set and match would have come India's way. But jokes apart, they have phenomenal batting. They have Riley Rouse, Quinton de Kock, Markram, David Miller, phenomenal batting. They have all bases covered. But the biggest drawback, I've been saying it all along, I don't know why and how he's been made the captain, but he is the major drawback. They're a very, very good side, but for Bavuma, who can probably, is like an anchor who can probably sink the ship of South Africa.
That's right. In fact, that's a question that everybody is asking as well. How long will South Africa stick with Temba Bavuma, the captain? Also, it's a complicated one. There's no straight answer to it. You know, there's history involved there. There's also a big decision here in a World Cup. Would you be taking that decision? We know what happened with Quinton de Kock in the last World Cup, not wanting to take the knee and then eventually taking it. And, you know, Temba Bavuma then saying that, okay, that's fine. You're still part of the team. So there is a lot of that, but Temba Bavuma, the batter, has struggled. And how? I mean, look at that. Average of 9.71, Deepak sir. Strike rate of 79. There are no two ways about it. As Ashok sir is saying, he is struggling, and teams, oppositions would rather have him in the middle struggling than get him out.
Yeah, actually, I think these are kind of patches which almost everybody goes through. We know what happened to Kohli, and you remember I said that during the start of the IPL that he is trying to chase the balls and he could be in big trouble, and he did lose almost about 9 to 10 times his wicket in the first slip or the wicket keeper, and we now see the same kind of a curse coming upon on Baba Azam. So these are kind of patches which everybody goes through. And you never know, maybe Perth with its ball coming up and at fairly decent pace, maybe it might be a blessing in disguise for the batsman, because he loves to strike the ball. And if he can play in the weave in the first, I think, few minutes, couple of overs, I think maybe he might strike form again.
Okay, so Pakistan, so this match is being played in Perth at on the same pitch in which Pakistan played. Ashok sir, I'm sure you watched the game because you watch every game. What do you make of, it looks like we seem to have lost him, but I'll try to connect with Ashok sir in just a bit. The pitch itself, sir, Deepak sir, you watched the game that, that Pakistan played. They won the game against Netherlands by 6 wickets. What do you make of the pitch? And, you know, the importance of the top order scoring runs on both sides?
Well, one thing is, Meha, that there was a time when Perth used to be a real disaster for foreign teams, and especially in the era of Lily Thompson and Len Pesco. But now with the one-day matches coming up, what happens is most of these pitches are very well rolled, and they are basically made batsman friendly. So whatever little I saw of the match previous one was that the ball was coming on fairly well. Now the late evening, they say in Perth, is that the southerly winds do make the ball move and wobble about. Now, if that happens, and at what pace that particular wind is coming through, that's going to be very interesting. And in that particular scenario, I think Nortje or somebody like Rabada and all could be difficult proposition. But same, I think on the other side, we might also see some very good, that same southerly winds helping Shami and Bhuvneshwar. And so it's an even contest. For me, I don't think the pitches had as much danger in it. Whatever little we saw in the first inning, I think Zimbabwe was basically a very, very tame opponent for Pakistan.
That's right. Okay, let's also take a look at India's bowlers and how they've done today. And it's interesting to see that coming into the tournament, how there was all this talk around Jasprit Bumrah, of course, being out, talk around who's going to be the death bowler specialist for India. Indian bowlers weren't doing as well. But come this World Cup, they've actually been good. And who've been the two standout bowlers for India? Well, Arshdeep Singh and Bhuvneshwar Kumar, that's right. And if you see the numbers, Deepak sir, Arshdeep playing his first World Cup has the most wickets so far for India, and Bhuvneshwar has the best economy. I mean, 42 deliveries that Bhuvneshwar has bowled, 30, I think, 30 of them have been dot balls. And that just goes on to show how good he has been. Yeah, 31, 42 deliveries, 31 were dot balls. And, you know, they've kept it tight throughout, be it the game, of course, against Pakistan and then against Netherlands as well. They've looked good.
Yeah, certainly. I think apart from these two, also you have to appreciate. My particular feeling is that the pressure exerted by Shami from the other end
Yeah.
has also tilted the scales. If you remember the Netherlands match, Arshdeep got really beaten up in the last over, uh, and he was really having a good spell. 3 overs, I think he had something like 20 or something. But in the last over, I think he gave away 16 to 18 runs. Now, that's where sometimes I feel that Arshdeep loses focus. But as far as Shami is concerned, if you see, he's consistent. And in 4 overs of each match, he's not gone beyond 25, 26.
Yeah.
That's roughly what he's done. So, and he's been picking up wickets and he's been fairly beating the batsman every over. So the pressure that he's exerting is also very good. Akshar Patel in the first match, of course, was disaster. He gave away almost about 20 odd runs in the only over that he bowled. But I think he got into his groove against the Minos Netherlands. And Hardik, I think, is pretty good. He's coming off. He hasn't done wonders, but I think he's coming out. And the benefit of having six bowlers at your command is, I think, very good. Because in the last match, if you remember, because Ashwin and Akshar were able to bowl in tandem, we did not have to bowl Bhuvneshwar's full quota of 4 overs. He only bowled 3.
That's right. Even Hardik just bowled 1, which is actually, people were seeing that as a good tactic, given that everybody in that team management wants to preserve Hardik Pandya. We know what Hardik Pandya can do in crunch matches. We know what he did against Pakistan as well, taking 3 wickets in the middle order. And like you said, even about Mohammad Shami, sir, Iftikhar Ahmed, just, you know, he'd hit 3 sixes of Akshar Patel. If he had not gotten out, things could have been different. And Mohammad Shami took that crucial wicket as well. But now, let's talk about India's top order. Ashok Malhotra is on the phone line with us. Ashok sir, we've spoken about this even before the World Cup began, about Rohit Sharma, who has been scoring runs, but those runs haven't been consistent. And at the same time, the strike rate is good, but he's not playing a long innings. Now, we saw a 50 from him against Netherlands, but it was a scratchy 50. Today, how important is it for India to get KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma to score runs?
See, if we bat first, we have to get off to a good start. You know, we have to take advantage of the power play. You know, the good news for Team India is that Virat is in form. Virat looks to be the vintage Virat, who's playing to his strengths, playing to his capabilities, and we know what he can do. And he's realized he can rotate the strike and then go hammer and tongs in the last 5-6 overs. But there's still the pressure. I would say the worrying part is the opening partnership. Rohit did get his 50, but he was dropped. And then he, as you said, he looked very, very scratchy. He's not looking the Rohit Sharma we all know.
Yeah.
And KL will have to come to the party. You know, you can't fail in 3 back-to-back games in the World Cup. So definitely he'll have to come to the party. And if he has to save his place in the Team India.
That's right. Look at that. KL Rahul, 4 versus Pakistan, 9 versus Netherlands. 12 matches played. It's the strike rate. And he said this, I remember, during IPL, that strike rates are overrated. But since then, his game, you know, people have talked so much about the strike rate and saying that, you know, a lot of times he's scoring runs, but he's scoring them slowly. So it'll be important how the Indian top order tackles South African pace. Then move on to what South Africa can do. Remember now that South Africa are under pressure. They've already had 1 game washed out. They won the 2nd game, and that was courtesy a brilliant 100 from Riley Russo. How good has he been, Deepak sir, to watch him bat like that? And he did that against India in Indore, and then came here, scored another 100, and just has been in supreme form. You look at his numbers, he's the highest run scorer for them. And to return after that Kolpak deal, South Africa are, at this point, I'm sure they're saying, wow, we're lucky to have him.
I think I really enjoyed his innings both in India and in Australia. And there is a certain amount of fluidity which is there in him. And at a certain level, I find that he has that aggressiveness of Lance Klusener, but it is not sledgehammer kind of batting which Klusener used to do. He's got much more grace, he's got much more fluidity, he's got much wider array of strokes. So I think he's somebody who would love the Perth pitch because the ball comes on to the bat well, true and fast. Obviously, for a stroke maker, that's one of the best things to do. So obviously, he's an advantage to them at the moment. David Miller, another batsman worth going miles to see. And what he has done, we've already known for a very long time. So all in all, they have a pretty decent and competent batting side to give us a tough fight.
That's right. I was just asking you, Ashok sir, before that connection got bad, about what you thought of the pitch in the match against where that Pakistan played against Netherlands. That's where India and South Africa would be playing in terms of the pitch and what can be expected. 91 is what Netherlands scored. And frankly, Pakistan did win by 6 wickets, but, you know, they were made to work hard for it.
See, Pakistan batting is very, very strong. And, you know, whether you people believe me or not, I think the shaking of hands did the trick. You know, the form came across the border to Virat Kohli, and the bat form went to Babar Azam. I mean, now I think I will start scoring runs because now he's got run out. That is the last of it, I would see. I know, but the fact is, they are struggling. Their batting is very, very iffy, to say the least. You can't depend on Rijwan and Babar all the time. You know, so much so they have to go back to Fakhar Zaman to bring him back out of nowhere. And, you know, he also struggled. But the fact is that batting is very, very iffy. Although the bowling is top class, maybe world class, but the batting is very, very ordinary, to say the least.
And what do you think, how should India be batting, India top order be batting in those conditions?
See, India, the start is very, very vital. You know, I hope KL Rahul plays his normal game, which is go after the bowling, because I fancy KL getting runs in this game because he likes the ball to come onto him. He doesn't like the guys who are slow medium pacers because he likes that pace and bounce. And that is when he plays through the line, plays those big shots. And same with Rohit Sharma. So they complement kind of each other. But I hope good sense prevails. Somebody will have to play the role of a sheet anchor. And I hope it is Rohit Sharma, not KL. The fact is, you don't expect Surya Kumar Yadav to accelerate every time, score 15, 26, 27 balls every time to take the pressure of the top order batters. So top order batters will also have to come to the party. One guy can play the role of a sheet anchor of the top three. The other two will have to start firing if they have to get runs on the board, if they lose the toss and told to bat first, because we are a better chasing side than a side which sets the target.
That's right, and you're right about this as well, sir, because against Netherlands as well, it was a slow start, and if it hadn't been for Surya Kumar Yadav to come and score that 50 of 26 deliveries, it would have been very difficult for India to get to that target. But let's also talk about India's likely playing 11. Deepak sir, do you see any changes? I know that the bowling coach Paras Mamre was very clear. Vikram Rathore, the batting coach, also said that, look, we're not looking to change anyone, but is that something they look to do? Because as I can see from the corner of my eye, toss is done, and Rohit Sharma speaking. So do you see any changes to that playing 11?
No, I personally don't think they would be, ready to tinker with a winning combination. And with the kind of breathing space that has been given to all the teams in between the matches, almost about 3 days rest, I think that's sufficient enough for international cricketers to play. And if you've got a winning combination which is coming off well, why try and break it?
Okay, there is a change. There is a change.
Yeah.
There is a change. So I've got the team sheet and I passed it on to my PCR. But Deepak Hooda has come in, sir.
And in place of whom?
Deepak Hooda has come in. So there's Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Virat Kohli, Surya Kumar Yadav, Hardik Pandya. Akshar Patel's out, sir. Akshar Patel is out. Deepak Hooda is in. Ashok, sir?
It is surprising for me. It's not because batting is not struggling as much. You have Deepak Hooda, then what number are you going to have your best finisher of the tournament, Dinesh Karthik? Then he'll be batting at number 7, number 8, number 9, God knows where. And you've got to play with 6 bowlers. You're playing with 5 bowlers.
Yeah.
If somebody goes for very many, I understand it's a quick pace, it will help the medium pacers, it will help the seamers, but still you need to play with the 6 bowlers just to have a cushion, just to have a backup. So now you're going in with 5 bowlers and maybe Deepak Hooda can chip in with 1 or 2 overs. But that is asking for too much, whereas Akshar was the one who was sure to bowl his quote out, 4 overs. So I don't like it, and why would you change a winning combination? That is my only thing. I could have understood if
so I get the sense it's because they obviously want to strengthen their batting, sir. They finally have realized that there is no point sending Akshar Patel at number 5, which is what they did against Pakistan.
Akshar is not there for his batting.
Yeah.
Akshar is there for his bowling. And if you make him a batsman and you want him to play ahead of Dinesh Karthik, then it is your choice.
Yeah.
You have made the choice. Akshar didn't tell you to make the choice. Akshar is a good enough player at coming at number 8. He's a good enough player, good enough batter. But I don't know why you made that choice. Akshar will bat ahead of Dinesh Karthik. So that is a cause of concern for me. And maybe good luck to them. They made the choice. We are always behind the Team India. But it is a very, very surprising choice.
Absolutely. So Rohit Sharma has won the toss, and if India have opted to bat first, which is again surprising, sir, they've done it yet again. Last time against Netherlands, we said that maybe it's because they wanted to bat to get their top order, to get some runs, also wanted to improve the net run rate. But here, very clearly, India going into bat first. It's a team that likes to chase, but yet again, they're saying that, look, we are going to bat here. And now it gets even more crucial, sir, for the top order to score runs. Deepak sir, India opting to bat first on this lively surface.
That's 2 surprises in a minute or so.
Yeah.
One is, of course, unless and until Akshar Patel is down because of some injury, slight niggle, or maybe a temperature or something of that sort. I don't understand. I completely agree with Ashok that bringing in Deepak Hooda at this particular crucial juncture is something beyond imagination. I could have been, thought of including Deepak Hooda for the sake of just giving him a chance and a feel and everything. Maybe in a lesser match, maybe the next match against Zimbabwe or something, but not in a crucial match against South Africa. And as far as this other thing that they have opted to bat, is again something against the grain, because on Perth, most of the teams would like to bat second.
Yeah.
And unless they have read the pitch in some way or the way other different, then I don't know. But yes, now you really need Rahul and Rohit to flourish, because in the last match also, the 50 that came off of Rohit was not just scratchy, but it was also because he was dropped at about 16 or 17.
Yeah.
So and he's not his usual Rohit self. I don't know why.
True, two big surprises there. So we've got the playing 11. Also for South Africa, one change which was along expected lines. They've gone in with an extra seamer. So Shamsi misses out and Ngidi comes in. This was something that everybody was talking about. This is Perth, so things are not going to be easy for India. They have got they've got some depth in their pace department. South Africa, as we know. There was also this talk around whether they'll go in for the tall Marco Jansen, but instead they've gone in with Lungi Ngidi, and they're going to be a handful. Wayne Parnell, Anrich, Nortje, Lungi Ngidi, Kagiso Rabada, and against the Indian top order. This is not going to be easy, but for all of you who are just joining us now, India have won the toss. They've opted to bat first. That is right, against South Africa in Perth. And India have made one change to their playing 11, which is Deepak Hooda has come in place of Akshar Patel. So India have won the toss. They've opted to bat first. They've made one change to their playing 11. Deepak Hooda has come in. Akshar Patel misses out at the toss. Rohit Sharma says it's a good surface. We know what to expect and what to do on this pitch. He says he says that we had a camp across at the Waka that helped us get used to the bounce for both batters and the bowlers. But this is an important game from where the tournament is. We just have to follow the routine and trust the process. Just stay calm and execute the plans. And there's no reason given there, Ashok sir, for why Akshar Patel misses out. He just said that that he misses out and that Deepak Hooda is in. Now, Deepak Hooda he had a really long outdoor net session today before the game. And so, there was already this talk around whether he is going to play. The whole conversation was whether he's going to come in place of Akshar Patel. What are they likely to do? They're not going to replace, they wouldn't have replaced Ravichandran Ashwin in this match, because Ravichandran Ashwin is, there are a lot of left-handers in the playing 11 for South Africa, Ashok sir. So, yeah, put your thinking hat on and tell us what could be the reason for Deepak Hooda to come in.
See, it defies cricketing logic. Honestly, it defies cricketing logic. I know they are very high-handed and whatever they say. They never say anything, whatever a public wants to hear. Or if you even put question to them, they said there's too much outside noise and we don't need to answer that. But the fact is, what is Deepak Hooda going to do at batting at number 7? You tell me. Because you got a settled batting. You got 3 at Virat, Surya at 4, Hardik at 5, maybe 6 is now maybe 6 at Deepak Hooda, 7 will be Dinesh Karthik, and then you got a bowlers. So I really don't understand what we have been not doing badly as a batting unit. It is the bowling which lets us down. If Pakistan we would have lost, it was a bad bowling in the end. So I think somewhere along the line they missed a trick or two, because you're going with a hand tied behind your back. Because it is not going to help the Hooda's kind of bowling on a bouncy, pacey first wicket. Yeah. So I think I'm amazed that they went for it. But good thing is they did not change Ashwin, because they got 3 top left-handers. The batters are left-handers.
Correct.
So
now there are two things.
On their part.
There are two things with Deepak Hooda. Deepak sir, you can come in. Deepak for Deepak. Two things with Deepak Huda. One is that if you wanted to, first of all, Deepak Huda, whenever you did give him an opportunity, you played him at number 3. Whenever you've tried to play him down the order, he has not done well. Secondly, when you did play him, you hardly ever gave him overs to bowl.
Yes.
So what are you doing with Deepak Huda, whom you've given no opportunities to bowl? And in fact, if you've got him to bat, you've got him to bat higher up in the order where he's done well, which is at number 3, where you've not given him that position. Why are you then going in with him in such a crunch match?
Well, it defies explanation to me. And frankly, I was expecting a change in the South African team. And I definitely expected that in Perth, they would have a faster and a bigger battery of fast bowlers. And that's why Nagiri's inclusion is not something that is, I was very much expecting it. But why India has made a change is something that defies explanation. I think the only thing that comes to my mind is that they think that they have to, give up. They feel Huda is a better batsman than Akshar Patel, and they would like to give up and bolster their batting because they think that they are vulnerable against pacers. That could be the only explanation. Deepak Huda's bowling, frankly, to me, does not inspire confidence at all. They might have he might have turned a few spells in IPL and he's done a few in international, but none of them have ever inspired confidence that he can be a world-class bowler against a world-class team. So in that particular scenario, and to give away somebody like Akshar Patel, because I think we needed 6 bowlers.
And on top of that, Akshar Patel actually had a good game.
Yes.
He redeemed himself, Ashok sir, from the game against Pakistan. We were talking about this day before yesterday when India played, saying that he really has redeemed himself and he's done what is expected of him. So this is surprising.
It is, Neha, really surprising, and we know that he will do his job. He's worth his place in the side, and he always delivers.
Yeah.
Be it test matches or ODIs or T20s, wherever he's given an opportunity. He grabs his chances with both hands. So one bad day in the office against Pakistan. Otherwise, he's been phenomenal, very, very consistent, and it surprises.
Yeah.
It really, really surprises me. I don't know what is behind their thinking. They will know better since they are in Australia. Maybe if they would have played an extra bowler, maybe I would have thought maybe they've gone for an extra bowler. But now they're going with the extra batsman.
Yeah.
So either they don't trust their batting lineup, or and believe you me, Meha, if the 6 batters will not do anything, the 7th will also bound to struggle. So this is what is going to happen.
And batting first as well. How do you see that? I mean, you do it against Netherlands. We understand what you're trying to do.
I really don't understand why. Because we are good chasers of the side, and as you've been saying, that it is a crunch game. Supposing we lose 2-3 wickets in a heat, first half, then how we recover? Will Huda make us recover? I really don't know. So batting first is always a double-edged sword. You can get off to a good start, then you can put runs on the board and put pressure on the opposition. But if they get going, especially on the fast and bouncy Perth wicket, which suits perfectly to these South African bowlers, then they just might be struggling.
Also now the change in South Africa, they've gone in with an extra pacer. So they know exactly what they are going to do, Deepak sir. They are going to bounce us and keep bouncing us. We've seen what Pakistan did in the earlier match against Netherlands as well. And every time they bowled a short delivery, Netherlands was not able to get runs. And we saw how difficult it was. So that's going to be their plan here.
Of course, I think their strength is the pace bowling, and with Maharaj just coming in as the spinner, I think they would be bouncing at the Indian batsmen, and probably they think that there is a chink in the Indian armour because Rahul somehow or the other tends to play with a little bit of a angled bat, and generally you see 6 times out of 10 he gets bowled when the ball strikes the inner edge and takes his wicket, the middle stump or the leg stump and all. So they think that they have it for them, and they also probably think that Rohit is certainly not in the groove. And if they can make inroads into the Indian batting, then probably they are, I think they've put their thinking caps right. Whereas in the Indian camp, probably there is a kind of a flutter and they think that Akshar is not so good a batsman. So let's bolster our batting. Suppose we collapse on the top order or something of that sort, then maybe Deepak Hooda can help. But I think in a certain way, they've also dented the confidence of Akshar Patel because he was beaten to pulp by the Pakistanis in the first match, didn't bowl except 1 over. And then he got back into his groove. And in the Pakistani match, he also ran himself out. He also dropped a catch.
Yeah.
So he, all in all, was trying to rehabilitate himself after the Netherlands match. And he was getting into the groove. And he's the kind of person who needs that encouragement and backup. If you keep throwing people like this and all, a winning combination always, Ashok would agree with me, is not to be tampered with.
Absolutely. And Ashok sir has been saying it throughout. He's like, you need the momentum. Why change it right now? Why change what Akshar Patel has done? So, but now I want you to talk a little bit about what should India's top orders approach be, given that they are going to have South African pacers coming at them. The conditions are going to be, you know, favoring the fast bowlers. India, I know this is their approach. We want to go aggressive, especially Rohit Sharma. He's been talking about it. But should they just go in with a far more conservative approach at the top?
See, Neha, I would say so. You know, not too conservative. You know, one of our batters will have to go hammer and tongs. You know, they should define the roles. Okay, who is going to do what? You know, you can't say, okay, I'll go, you know, flat out at them and lose early wickets. So that is my cause of worry, because this kind of scenario, the kind of wicket it is, as we saw with Netherlands, they were rolled out for 52. It can happen to Team India also if we lose early wickets. So the first and foremost is play 6 overs, surely, confidently, get even 40, 45 runs on the board. Maybe losing a wicket, not more than a wicket. So then you have set a good foundation where you can build a reasonably good total. 150, 160 should be good total on this wicket.
Absolutely, and we saw this even against Netherlands, despite that slow start. Of course, Suryakumar Yadav came in, Deepak Saran changed things for India. But at one point, after the 10th over, I think India was still 50-odd runs, 53 or something. And from there, accelerated. So it's better to have wickets in hand, especially in a match like this, with the conditions that we've seen in the earlier match, and then maybe accelerate, you know, go the conservative way.
I think, Meha, you've hit the nail on the head. Things were very pathetic when we were playing against Netherlands at around the 10th over the midpoint of the innings. But Suryakumar Yadav really turned it on, and God forbid if that kind of a thing happens against South Africa, we'll be in the doldrums.
Yeah.
So I think the correct approach would be that Rahul should attack, Rohit should play the sheet anchor, and thereafter they should keep on reversing these roles once in a while, with one person going hammer and tongs and the other one, trying to rotate the strike and keeping the wickets intact. I think that's very important, because suddenly if they have these two openers going, the pressure comes on to Kohli as well as Suryakumar Yadav. And we did see that even against Pakistan, we were really at a very sorry position up to about 13th or 14th over. And it's that intangible, as I said earlier to you, the intangible factor of luck which helped us that day. Pakistan did not play any less than India. It was just that the roll of dice favored India. It rolled in our favor.
Just as you say this, we've been cued to Kohli-Sky partnership. Ashok sir, this is the one to look forward to these days. Virat Kohli and Suryakumar Yadav. This is the new bromance in town. 463 runs. Move over Rohit and Rahul. Kohli-Sky partnership is what everybody wants to see, because of just the way they both complement each other. You know, how Virat Kohli knows exactly when to accelerate, when to sit back. He knows exactly what to do when Sky gets going. It's looking good, these two.
Yeah, definitely so. The best thing is you can see that Kohli is in awe of him.
Yeah.
You know, he realizes that the kind of shots he plays is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, the good thing about Virat is he he does not try to match him stroke for stroke.
Yeah.
You know, hangs around, rotates the strike in between, plays few big shots of his own. But all in all, he enjoys batting with him. And that is what, as you very rightly said, they complement each other. You know, one goes hammer and tong at the opposition, and the other keeps milking the bowling. And at the end of the day, they end up with a very, very good partnership, which helps the cause of Team India.
Can I tell you, the only reason why I see India choosing to bat first, gentlemen, is that they've said, look, we can do anything we want to. We are going to put ourselves in the most difficult situation, and we are going to try to win from there, because that's the kind of belief we have in us. I think that's what it's come down to.
Could be true. Could be true. And I just hope that for your sake and for the nation's sake that it comes true. But frankly, just adding on to Ashok's thing, many a time there are batsmen, when they play in as partners, I think they complement each other. And that's the reason at this particular moment of time, Surya Kumar Yadav and Kohli, they are literally complementing each other. And one of the best things that I see is that Kohli, despite being senior by miles, yet he has the graciousness to always allow, when he sees that Surya Kumar Yadav is in a group, he's allowing him the major strike. And that's a very fine thing of sportsmanship.
Yeah. It's also humility, sir, that is being taught after the last 2 years of struggling and struggling for Virat Kohli. He probably, you remember the little moment they had during the IPL where Virat Kohli stared at him and he said, "Main hoon na," and all of that. You remember all of that?
And if you remember, I was the one who said that he is going into the doldrums because he's just unnecessarily trying to prove a point. He was playing with rage. And that rage was not good enough for him. He was just trying to prove a point. And ultimately, once he left that and he just started playing for himself, now he's not reaching up to the ball. He's allowing the ball to come up to him and then he's stroking well.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, we'll wrap this up, sir. Thank you so much, Ashok Malhotra, Deepak Mahan, for joining us here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you so much.
News 9 Sports is what you need to subscribe to for all the latest. We'll be back, hopefully, with an Indian win. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.